From the white roads of Waimate, South Canterbury, New Zealand. Welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, why Tadej Pogačar could be the greatest male cyclist of all time, including bettering the GOAT himself, Eddie Merckx.
And yes, we know that Dan and Si said this last year about Mathieu van der Poel, but this time we're asking someone who really should know. Plus, coming up, we've got some new tech from Le Monde and Giro, and some cracking hacks and terrible bodges.
This week in the world of cycling, we learned that Julian Alaphilippe is as talented an acrobat as he is a bike racer.
Yep, this was a huge pile-up at the men's Strade Bianche, where a freak gust of wind blew half the peloton off the road.
Yeah, now thankfully, Alaphilippe is reporting no major injuries, and as we film this, was due to start his next major race, Tirreno Adriatico. And that's just as well, thankfully, but also all the more remarkable when you look at this photo from mid-crash. Bonkers.
It's crazy. We also learned that bike racers are still getting amazing prizes as well as boring old prize money.
Yep, so Fabio Jakobsen obviously got the traditional donkey for Kerner Brussels Kerner. Yoli Dora apparently won a vacuum cleaner a couple of years ago, and Matt Stevens once won a cabbage.
But now Ellen van Dijk has revealed what she won after winning a very sketchy stage of a time trial at the Blazona Friesland Tour.
That's nice, isn't it? Like some kind of luxury travel pack, like a sleep mask, some playing cards. I'm not sure what the purple thing is. It's like some kind of massager?
Yes, something like that, Si. Anyway, moving on. As well as Alaphilippe's acrobat, Strade Bianche gave us some incredible racing on the weekend. And if you missed it, you can catch up on the racing on GCN+.
Yes, make sure you do. Make sure that you do. In the women's race, Lotte Kopecky overhauled the pre-race favourite Annemiek van Vleuten in a phenomenal ride. She doggedly held on up the final climb and then held her own in a drag race across the medieval paving slabs of Siena before diving inside van Vleuten in the final corner, putting her in the barriers, and boom!
Yeah, putting her in the barriers, that was just pure racecraft. There was nothing dodgy going on there, but
No.
Absolute great ride from Kopecky and her SD Works teammate, which they look pretty good for the classics.
They do indeed, don't they? Now, the men's race was much less of a nail-biter, but no less impressive. Tadej Pogačar attacked with 50 kilometres to go and then soloed to victory. Done and dusted. Let it be said that the novelty of the current Tour de France champion smashing one-day races like some kind of giant of the road from cycling's glorious past has not worn off. And in fact, long may it continue, because he's also lining up for a tilt at Milan-San Remo and the Tour of Flanders in the coming weeks. I will not be betting against him. He's a phenomenon, frankly.
And to think that this time last year, Si, you and Dan sat here and breathlessly reeled off 3 reasons why you think Mathieu van der Poel would be the greatest cyclist of all times, like the fanboys you are.
Yeah. Oh my word. More power, I think, than my car, perhaps. Bonkers.
And now the 2 times Tour de France champion has won 3 of the biggest one-day races going. He's only 23, and he's literally undefeated at the Tour de France.
Yeah, okay.
And at this point in his career, he is unmatched. No rider in history has ever achieved more.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Say what you like about Mathieu van der Poel, Aaron. I won't forgive you, but you can say it. But that is a bold claim. There are a lot of Eddie Merckx fans out there, and they like writing comments.
Well, rather than listen to Dan, I was chatting to GCN's font of all knowledge, Cillian Kelly, who you can see in his stat attacks over on the World of Cycling on the GCN app. And he put it very succinctly.
Okay.
Listen to this. The only other male rider who could be considered the best ever are Merckx and Eno.
Okay.
Eno never really focused on the classics, even though he won some, 5 monuments in total, and he'd only won 1 by the time he was Pogacar's age. And, well, Pogacar is well on the way to bettering that, and obviously Pogacar is already a Grand Tour monster.
Yeah, okay, whereas Eno didn't win his first Grand Tour until he was 23.
Precisely. Cillian says that the reason Pogacar could be better than Merckx is because he started younger. When Pogacar wins his 3rd Tour in July, he'll still be younger than Merckx was when he won his first in 1969. And Merckx took a few years to ramp up to Grand Tour monster mode, and Pogacar, well, he was doing it straight away. And Merckx, he finished 9th in his first Grand Tour, which is a bit pathetic.
Yeah, whereas Pogačar was, pop quiz, 3rd at the Vuelta 2019.
Exactly, and he also points out that no rider has ever won at least 3 stages of the first 4 Grand Tours, and Pog will do that when he wins his 3rd in July.
Another bold claim. So basically, Pogačar has started younger and won more of a greater variety than either of the 2 male greatest riders of all time.
Yep, you got it. The only rider that can compete with that in range and age is Marianne Vos, and no one is getting close to her anytime soon. Whilst Pogačar was Slovenian national cyclocross champion, Vos, 8 times cyclocross world champion, and has won a gold medal in the Olympics on the track.
That's a fair point.
Anything to say for yourself?
No.
Eddie Merckx himself even said in an interview with Gazzo dello Sport, it's becoming hard to find the words to describe what this young guy does. He is spectacular and formidable. He is a
Campionissimo! Yeah, well, what does he know?
Good.
I mean, seriously, what does that guy know? I mean, in defence of Mathieu van der Poel, must be said,
Here we go.
and probably more me and Dan, we said that he was the most powerful cyclist of all time. Given the numbers that he was putting out, the power data from last year, I think we can still say that. If he is on form, he can do things that no one else can do.
Yeah, but who brags about power data and not results?
Admittedly, typically not very successful riders. And in his defence, once again, it was me and Dan bragging about his power numbers, or at least sort of frothing over them. But we also said that he's the most versatile male cyclist of all time, and I think that still holds true.
Just.
Okay, fair point. We also said finally that he would bring cycling to a whole new audience because of his dynamic racing, and I think that does still hold true, more so than Pogačar.
So you're saying that he's the greatest cyclist of all time without actually being the greatest?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, we're saying that. But I mean, well, I just hope he gets back to full fitness and winning ways very soon, because I think we all miss him, don't we?
We do. Let us know down in that comment section below what you guys think.
Well, yeah. Who is the greatest of all time? Is it going to be Pogačar? And who would you most like to have a game of ping pong with? Pogačar, Mathieu van der Poel, or Marianne Vos?
Pogačar, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, I just have a feeling he might not be very good at the...
Oh, I see. You don't just want to, play ping pong with him, you just want to beat him?
I was just thinking, who could I beat the easiest? I mean, I'm not the best ping pong player, but...
You've got the killer instinct, clearly. Right then. I think I'd still like to play Mathieu van der Poel, if I'm honest. I didn't manage to do that at the Zwift Academy.
One day.
Yeah, one day. Matthew, if you're watching, hi. You know where to find me. I'm still waiting. Anyway, as if you needed reminding of the gulf between pro cyclists and mere mortals, even ex-pro cyclists from just a couple of years ago, we have a cracking GCN Plus film for you released this week. Connor goes bikepacking with his old friend from Age de Zelle Mondial, Larry Warbass. I'd say old friend. They were really good friends before the start of their trip.
Highest road in Gran Canaria, 1900 metres. Magical place in a way. Mad view. Trying to take it in too, but it's just absolutely freezing up here. This is just incredible. Volcanic rock, then it's sand dunes, then it's desert, then it's like palm trees, then this is like this mad cloud forest. Ready?
I think I'm ready. As ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay, let's try and start without crashing.
GCN Inspiration now. Before we crack on with our 3 inspirational images for this week, can I just say, we will never, as in GCN will never, ever ask you for money in order to claim a prize or ask for your bank details to do so. So apparently there have been a few people trying to spam people and fraudulently get money by pretending to be GCN. So let it be said here and now, if you've ever won something, we will get in touch, or you get in touch with us, but we will never, ever ask you for bank details or money. So Yeah.
That's very naughty.
It's pretty bad, isn't it? Right, anyway, on with inspiration. Third place this week, winning a plant-based cyclist cookbook, is this one from Matt Young 1. Life doesn't get any better with New Zealand's best out and back. 240 kilometre long ride. That does look pretty cool, doesn't it?
240 kilometres? That's a long old way.
That is a You still haven't got over your Strade Bianche thing,
I
have
thought
you?
184k was far, but fair play. No, that looks beautiful.
I've never been to New Zealand, and it just looks like the most incredible place. And I say that as someone who's not normally a fan of out and back rides.
To be fair, you'd see totally different things, wouldn't you?
Well, that's
On the
what
way
fans of
and
out and
then-
back say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of out and back.
Are you?
Yeah, out and back girl. Yeah.
Fair enough. Right. Second place this week, Mel.
Second place this week wins a GCN Court Red sweatshirt, and this is in from Loz Staples. This is my tandem partner, Mason, doing his thing. Not bad for a visually impaired rider.
Wow.
Video of him on the rollers, one-legged, non-handed riding. I can't do that.
No way on earth.
That is skills.
I had to get on some rollers for the first time in many a year, and I was all over the place
wobbly?
last week. Yeah, it was pretty bad, yes. But that is super skilled. Fair play to you, Mason. Awesome stuff. Very inspirational indeed. In first place this week, though, winning a GCN Core Red sweatshirt, a GCN Shadow Stand, and a GCN Word Logo t-shirt is Tom Wilkinson, who has sent this one in. He said, started cycling in 2019. I was born with a heart condition called pulmonary arteria and have Fontaine's circulation. My cardiologist has said that my newfound love of cycling has been inspirational and in many ways defied science. Cycling 60 kilometres for me should be impossible. With the help of my Orbea Gain e-bike and plenty of tips and inspiration from GCN and the cycling community, cycling has truly changed my life. That's like the ultimate bit of inspiration,
That is
isn't it?
very inspirational. It's definitely very worthy of first place.
Absolutely, yeah. And just a note as well, by the way, that hashtag #RepGCN, if you wear your GCN cycling kit with pride, use that hashtag #RepGCN and we will find it. And then we can possibly share it too as well. But yeah, congratulations, Tom. That is super duper cool. If you want to get involved with GCN Inspiration, all you've got to do is upload an inspirational photo, whether that's a riding photo or an inspirational story, to the GCN app, and we will pick our 3 favourites next week.
And now it's time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and we're going to start with news that Greg LeMond has got a new road bike. Now, we have been teased with news of this for some time. No one's actually seen one yet, but more details have now emerged.
According to the website, it uses revolutionary new construction that promises to make it the safest bike out there, whilst having amazing performance as well. But nothing concrete has been said yet.
No. So the secret sauce apparently is an expanding foam core that stays in place after the carbon has been cured. So the frame isn't hollow, which is
Interesting.
unique, I think. And that apparently improves the strength of the carbon as well as changing the ride quality.
It does look pretty cool and very interesting concept. But I have to say I have no issues with bike safety, but anything to make the bikes more robust has to be a good thing. And the price of the bikes is pretty premium. $8,500 for the US made frame, fork, wheels and stem, and $12,500 for the complete bike.
Yeah. Now, we'll move on to some sad news. Of course, the war in Ukraine is foremost in everyone's thoughts at the moment, but it seemed poignant to mention a specific loss to the Ukrainian cycling community. One of the country's top coaches, Alexander Kulik, was killed whilst helping to evacuate people from Kiev last week. He was also the father of one of the country's current top cyclists, Andrei Kulik, and so our thoughts go out to him and his family, as well, frankly, as everyone else affected by the current war.
Changing back to some more positive news now, and bicycle retailers report on the USA-wide e-bicycle battery recycling scheme. There are currently 840 retailers signed up as collection points, and there's some big names involved in it too, like Shimano, Bosch and Specialized.
That's right. You know, in the context of the previous story, it feels kind of trifling, doesn't it? But the fact is, it is an important thing to do. It's an important part of being an e-bike owner, because whilst batteries last a really long time, apparently between 3 and 5 years, at some point you will need to replace them. And when that time comes, you've got to do it safely And you should try and do it sustainably, I think.
And did you know that between 95 and 98% of the battery can be recycled?
I did not know that,
Which is pretty cool. And a quick Google, and there's a lot of other schemes out there for many different countries as well.
Yeah. Right, some more tech news for you now. You will have seen, if you'd watched the retro versus modern video on Saturday, that Giro have launched a new helmet called the Eclipse, and it's basically the ultimate bells and whistles road helmet. It's their fastest, most aerodynamic ever. It's also stacked with loads of new safety features, and apparently it's also got 14 wind tunnel optimized vents that make the cooling amazing as well. So apparently the air ports at the back kind of suck air over your head, keeping it cool. So does my head look cool, man?
Yep, looks really good. Now, we spoke about racing at the beginning of the show, but we have to give Jumbo-Visma a shout out for their dominating ride on stage 1 of Paris-Nice. 1, 2, 3 on the podium after they attacked the final climb and dropped everybody else in the race. It then looked like a very painful team time trial to the finish.
Yeah, so impressive though. And how rare is it to get a 1, 2, 3?
Very rare.
Very rare indeed. You can, of course, watch Paris-Nice on GCN Plus all week this week, live and on demand, as you can watch Tirreno Adriatico as well, which started yesterday, again, live and on demand. So hopefully you have a sympathetic work or a flexible work, or hopefully your teacher hasn't realised that you're watching GCN Plus on your phone underneath your desk at school, which we do not advocate. Do we? No. However, if you can't do that, don't beat yourself up, because we've got mega highlights, of course, and both are available on demand, as all the races are as well afterwards. So you can always watch them in the evenings. Right, what was I going to say next?
Strava.
Oh yeah, good point. There is a Strava challenge that you need to know about that's being run by our mates at Castelli. So they've done an annual classics-related Strava challenge. This year, they are asking you to ride for as many minutes in a week as there are kilometres of road in Milano San Remo. So that's 293, if you didn't know.
And that works out at 4 hours, 0.88. Not sure.
Which we think is maybe 52 minutes or something, but we haven't done the maths.
Need to do some more math. And if you complete it, you could be one of 6 people to win a very awesome prize. 3 days of riding at Castelli HQ in northern Italy.
Oh, nice. You've been there, haven't you?
Yeah, me and Ollie went there. Very nice. Very hilly. Ollie loved it. It's now time for hack/bodge. That was not a very good slash.
No, sorry. I'm just getting lazy after all these years. Okay, first up this week, Manon, who have we got?
We got W. Busfield, home trainer setup.
Oh my word.
My stepfather's pain cave makes use of my mother's old Nishiki and nifty hybrid reading support stand.
Oh my word.
Can you even turn the pedals in there?
That is one seriously crowded pain cave.
There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that not everyone has a paradise of a pain cave in which to do indoor training, but that kind of sets my nerves slightly on edge. There's just so much stuff in there.
That's a bodge from me.
Yeah, I mean, it is for me. Maybe just rig up some sheets, like white sheets, just to make it feel calm and tranquil.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Or, as they've said, one of the more colourful occasions to read Ulysses. So perhaps if you're involved in a book, then maybe it doesn't matter that you're surrounded by clutter. But anyway, yeah, the bodge for that one.
Yeah, bodge.
87% of you lot say bodge as well. But I want to say fair play for getting on it and training. No matter what.
That's all that matters, isn't it?
It is all that matters,
as long as you're turning the pedals.
Exactly. Right, next up, Mr. Bag's bottom bracket blues, but a tool, G-clamp to the bottom bracket, and a scaffold pole extension on the spanner finally got the seized bottom bracket out. Wow, fair play to you. I mean, that's mildly terrifying to think of the torque that's going through that bottom bracket. You've got to be confident that you're turning it the right way, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh my word. But,
If
brilliant.
it worked,
yeah,
it's a hack.
Absolutely. Absolutely a hack from me. Hack from you as well?
Yeah, hack.
There we go, 74% of you lot agree that that's a hack.
Next up, we've got Up and Down Dale. I couldn't afford a 3D printer. I wanted to have my light out front with my bike computer, and not having a 3D printer, sorry, Si, I took a drill, a bolt and a couple of spacers, some black paint, and I made my very own.
I like
Hack.
that even more than if it was 3D printed.
Really?
Yeah, because, well, I don't have a 3D printer either. I just think, that's just so cool.
And it's, nice and compact. You haven't got a light on your handlebars and bulking it up. Very neat and tidy.
Brilliant.
Hack.
Yeah.
94% of people said hack as well.
Well, rightly so as well, I think. Next up, the usual suspect, DIY bike fit solution. After endless months of putting up with discomfort to my right knee and constant tinkering to try and solve the issue, I was considering a professional bike fit, but before I did, I bought a cheap laser level and recorded myself on the bike. Within half an hour, the issue was identified and solved. Well, what was the issue? And how have you solved it? Like, the laser thing's good and everything, but I want to know what was going on.
I wouldn't know where to start with the laser.
No? What have you done? I'll give you a hack, because I like it,
Yeah.
but can you also tell us what you did? Anyway.
I'd say it's a hack if it were.
Absolutely. Yeah, if it's worked for you, then definitely a hack.
Yeah.
And 92% of you lot agree as well. We like that DIY bike fit.
Next up from Seabon Holland.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think.
tricky one, isn't it?
Hold my coffee. Awkward to ride one-handed during my morning commute after getting coffee, so 3D printed myself a handy cup holder.
Hack!
That's genius, that one.
That is genius. Admittedly, if you didn't have a 3D printer and you'd fashioned it out of some other bits that you had lying around, that would also be a hack. But no, that's cool.
83% hack. I hope the coffee doesn't. I hope it's quite sturdy there.
Can
coffee spillage.
Can I just say though, actually, I'm going to retract my hack, because that is a disposable coffee cup. You know that you should not be using disposable coffee cups. You want to have a reusable coffee cup, don't you?
Or in the doghouse.
Absolutely, you are. Yeah.
Do not mess with this guy.
Bodge.
Well.
Get it sorted. Come on. You can even buy one with GCN branding on it.
You
from the
can
GCN
actually,
shop.
yeah.
No, that's not important. The important thing is that you don't use disposable coffee cups. Right. Next. Here's a bit of recycling.
There, that's a bit of you.
Yeah, this is what we like.
This one is in from Janny. Soy sauce chain lube container. Repurposed a single-use soy sauce container as an emergency chain lube container. Takes up less than no space in the saddlebag. Less rubbish. No more lube emergencies. Great idea.
There we go. Greetings from Bern, Switzerland. Weirdly, that's the second soy sauce chain lube container that I saw this week.
Really?
This one, the GCN app. The other one from a guy called Rich Mitchelson, who we used to do a load of work with on GCN. Hello, Rich, if you're watching. And he had one too.
That's a great idea, especially if you're going on like bikepacking adventures or...
Yeah, or ultra endurance races. There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a hack.
Definitely.
And 93% of you lot agree. Brilliant. And what great recycling. Anyway, Rust Brown 1. Oh dear. Aluminium doesn't
Look
corrode.
good.
Bodge advice. I don't know where you heard that, but he said he recently heard some advice which turned out to be a bodge. Aluminium doesn't corrode, they said. Well, I can assure you that it does, and did. 18-month-old giant TCR, 20,000 kilometres, a lot of sweaty rides in the tropical Singaporean climate, snapped while out on an early morning ride. Ouchie. Fortunately, there was no traffic around. I was able to navigate a path home on the tops. Yeah. Well, I don't know who said that. I did, yeah. You said that? Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a slip. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that.
I'm embarrassed.
I know. I'm so sorry. Apologies for that. Aluminium does corrode. It's funny, isn't it, how like people have these preconceived ideas about like steel is indestructible, but actually steel frames can crack and bend and rust, and aluminium can corrode and crack and rust, and well, not rust, and carbon can crack. They're all fallible, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's my little rant. I don't know what that's in aid of. Anyway,
Wow.
Yeah, it's all about the engineering, not about the frame material. Whew. On that note, if you would like to get involved with Hack or Bodge for next week, please upload to the GCN app. And of course, you can vote on next week's Hacks and Bodges, which are already on there, and just generally peruse and have a good time.
Make sure they're all sustainable, please.
Yes, please. It's time now for Caption Competition, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted GCN Elite water bottle. All you got to do is put a witty caption in the comments section down below that relates to a photo we're about to give you. But of course, it's results time first. Anna?
It is, and with last week's image, it was the cardiac cyclist. After a stunning victory, Jakobsen amazed everyone with his flawless multilingual interview. He even claims to be able to have a conversation with animals, but we suspect he is talking out of his arse. Ass.
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 See
Get
what we
it?
did there? Yeah, nice. I like
Yeah?
that. Yeah, very good indeed. Good job we didn't have a caption competition about Ellen van Dijk's
Yeah, wow, they would have been wild.
That's the donkey, by the way. Right then, now this is the image that we are giving you this week. This is Giorgio Brambilla at the Strade Bianche. Manon, you want to get us started?
Yep. Brambilla was furious after having watched GCN's video that me and Ollie did about taking a road bike or a gravel bike to Strade Bianche. And obviously we said the road bike was better and he listened, he took his road bike. But in this moment, he figured out a gravel bike would have been better.
There you go. It's quite a long-winded caption.
Yes, it was. It was a bit of a story.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, I like it. You've kept up the Lloydie mantle, Manon. So well done.
Good.
Yeah, help yourself to a bottle.
Thanks. It's now time to take a look at some of the comments that you've been leaving under our videos this week. And we'll start off with, we let a triathlete plan a road ride, and this is what happened. This was Connor and Mark. The first one was from AMP. Connor is a great cyclist, but an outstanding comedian. He is a funny guy. And one from Midgie Thompson. I'm in tears of laughter and recognition of all that screaming as you got in the cold water, loving all the humour. And one more, Connor's squealing is legendary. I didn't know he could be so high-pitched.
No. Should we, if you haven't heard it, here is Connor squealing.
That was lovely. Thanks, Connor.
Yeah, now, under comments about whether you could descend as fast as Mathieu van der Poel, the GOAT, could climb, Sacco said she absolutely crushed Van der Poel on the same track, but open with traffic and pedestrians to deal with too. That's a heroic achievement. Who cares that she was going the other direction?
So I'm pretty much the greatest cyclist of all time because I beat Mathieu van der Poel. Doesn't matter if it was
Well, there's a good point.
going downhill when he was going uphill,
But remember that Mathieu van der Poel is the most powerful cyclist of all time, and that's why he's the GOAT. Partisan
Sure.
Gamer, from the TV footage, I never really grasped how steep this actually is. Those shots down the road and from the side are brutal. And Andrew Starkey, serious effort by Manon. Ollie clearly didn't want to get dropped by a hill. What was his excuse?
yeah, I asked him, he just laughed at me, said he wasn't doing it, so I had to take one for the team,
Well,
as always.
I was going to say, I don't think he'd have done it, but there we go.
I think I'm faster going downhill anyway.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a scaredy cat.
Right, and then Alex took on Filippo Ganna, didn't he, in an alternative GCN challenge?
Yep, Alex was as happy winning the RC race as he was winning the stick against Connor's son. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And then one in from Phil Bailey, the sass with how Alex finished his second lap with a 180 spin next to Filippo's shoes. Gold.
Yeah, and then
It
one
was-
final one. Infinati, I didn't know Ganna wore glasses, and he seems like a chill, fun guy to boot. It's nice to see the other side of pros. Good content.
It's always weird seeing pros not on a bike, not in a helmet. They're
It is, isn't
they're
it?
actually real people, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. That. I think that when I sit next to Daniel Lloyd, it's incredible, isn't it? It's actually just a human being after all. Right then, I think that next to you as well. By the way, man, just so you know.
Thanks, Si.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to what's coming up on the channel this
Swiftly.
week. On Wednesday, we've got How to Ride Up Steep Hills with Ellen and Hank. And on Thursday, we've got 5 essential skills every cyclist should learn.
Yeah, on Friday, we have de-restricted e-bike versus dogs. So this is Hank going back to racing huskies. I quite want to see the result of this
Yeah.
one. I'm not going to lie. And then on Saturday, GCN does Cycle Speedway.
Watch it.
Yeah?
It was good fun.
Okay, right.
It wasn't very good, but it was good fun.
Really?
Yeah?
Cool. All right, yeah, I can't wait to see that one. And then on Sunday, modern GCN presenter on a vintage road bike versus vintage Sean Kelly on a modern road bike. This is incredible. So we got Sean the King Kelly to fly out to San Remo to ride up and down the Poggio, given that Sean Kelly is famous for his antics on the Poggio, this is one not to be missed. So definitely check that one out. And then, Manon, I believe that takes us to the end of the GCN show for another week.
Yeah, sad, isn't it?
It is indeed
All good things come to an end.
Absolutely. Manon, it has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Nice doing business with you, Si.
Indeed it was.
Until next time.
Absolutely. Give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it.